Martinsville. An easy half-mile around its bends, it's always such a thrill. Oh man, you gotta know, it's always one heck of a show. If it's a score you gotta settle, put the pedal to the metal. Martinsville's the way to go. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go. Martinsville. Careful, pal, you better watch out. The racers there are out of sight. They're revving up, they're roaring by, passing on the left and right. Oh man, you gotta know, it's always one heck of a show. Run around and tear it up, you're taking home the cup. Martinsville's the way to go. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Martinsville. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go, Martinsville. Let's go. Let's go. there's a little short track called Martinsville.
Hello and welcome to the OB Builders Cup Series live from virtual Martinsville Speedway. I'm Sheldon Atkins, joined by Joe LaCastro and special guest tonight, Sean Conklin, points leader of the OB Builders Cup Series, and in the truck is going to be Austin Derbyshire. And Joe, tell me how you feeling about Martinsville here tonight.
Well, are we talking before or after my opinion based on my NIS last night, my friend? I'm going to be the first one to say it. It was a bit of a grinder last night. We're watching everybody go around, but the OB Builders Cup, they're a different league, a league above the rest. So I'm hoping that tonight we're not going to match the same caution count that we saw going around there in the official league. But I don't think we're gonna. So I'm looking forward to tonight being a lot of clean laps. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And Sean, what do you have to say for it? We know you love this place.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. We're gonna see 20 cars barrel down into turn number 1 here, and we're gonna hope that all of them make it out alive coming out of turn number 2 in the first lap. And after that, they still got 324 laps to go. So we'll see how this all plays out. We'll see who survives to the end and who comes out on top.
Yeah, definitely a lot of different ways you can make a great race or ruin a race here at this prestigious half-mile bull ring. But sitting here looking at the championship standings, and wow, Sean Conklin is both leading the points and in the booth. Second place now, Brandon Pasalacqua, as he's carved away those points that Levine left on the table with his 2-week break. Patrick Gitter hanging on in fourth, with Joseph Causey rounding out the top 5. As we get ready for these cars to take to the grid here, Sean, just tell me, what are your keys this evening?
Well, first key is gonna be wrapping that bottom. If you get even just a half a lane off of it, the guy behind you is gonna be looking for that nose to dive underneath you and take the spot away from you. The second key to the race is gonna be don't overdo your braking. If you overdo it, you're gonna end up 3 lanes up the racetrack. Got too much rear brake in it, you're gonna be spinning 3 lanes up the racetrack. So it's all about managing your braking here tonight. And lastly, it's just survive. If you can survive here at Martinsville and last to the end, you have an easy, solid top 10 locked up. Just keep your car clean, keep the nose clean, and drive your car to the end.
Yeah, absolutely good call, especially on the survival with the attrition that we saw last night in the NIS. I mean, heck, I didn't think we were ever going to get the thing wrapped up. That's so bad that Adam Benefield had to come in and play relief for us late race. And speaking of Benefield, we're going with the broadcast picks of the race, and I'm glad to go with that 83 car tonight. I know his long run pace on these short tracks is always above average compared to the majority of the field, and well, I know we're going to get that here, knock on wood. How about you, Joe? Who you got on tap?
I threw in the 98 of Joseph Galata. I saw his number in practice, and as you know, I like to go with my gut. And you know what? He had some pretty good speed last night. Let's see what he can do tonight.
I'm going to go with that number 27 of Roger Pierce. Fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, sitting on the pole here tonight. If he can bring it home, he can put himself in the top 5 in the points.
Not only is he the fastest in practice and fastest in quali, he is also the fastest to down a 12-pack during one of these races. So definitely going to be one to keep your eyes on. But pulling up the starting grid here this evening, starting on the pole is going to be the 27 machine of Roger Pierce with Joseph Galata to the outside in the 98 machine. Starting P3 is going to be Matt DiCiani with Daniel Wiles in the 13 machine in 4th. 5th is going to be Chris Crosby with Brandon Pasalacqua in P6. Throwing off the grid in 7th is going to be Bryce Rayner with Adam Benefield, Keith Long, and Jose Medina rounding out the top 10.
Moving right along out of the top 10 into the 11th spot, it's going to be Richard Kleineman in 11th with Luke Christian in 12th. Patrick Gitter in 13th. With Paul Hill in 14th. Chris Vincent in 15th with Josh Schnaufner in 16th. Paul Gallimore in 17th with Alexander Carr in 18th. Greg Carr in 19th, and rounding it out, Russell Black in 20th.
And can't forget about Joshua Hyatt sitting there in P21 from Kannapolis, North Carolina. We got 21 cars on the grid here tonight. A little bit of a smaller field, but, I think a lot of people kind of try and take a tolerance break to Martinsville after the chaos we saw last night in NIS and all week in A Open. Gonna be a long one, though. 325 laps, shorter field. I feel like the opportunities for green flag runs are pretty much in our wheelhouse here tonight. As you see the iRacing pace car take gear here and drive us off into turn 1. And Sean, what is going through your head here? Getting ready to take the green flag at Martinsville, knowing you got a long way to go.
As the leader, you're just looking to run away. So I would imagine going through Rogers' head right now is just to get a good restart and try to run away with it. If you're anywhere mid-pack, you're just looking to make spots, and hopefully you're just trying to do it cleanly. You're just sitting back there thinking to yourself, trying to make other people make mistakes, follow the people that you can trust through the field, and try to get to the front.
Absolutely. My main concern is always getting mired in traffic somehow at this place, too. So terrifying once you get back there with some of the guys that aren't quite too sure what they're doing. Watch the car. Cars wrap around the track here through 1 and 2. Lights out on the iRacing pace car, meaning we are getting ready to go green. It's nice to see the old 2005 Mustang GT ripping around Martinsville. Been a while. They got rid of her in the officials here this season. Field now in the hands of Roger Pierce and Joseph Gulata as they work through 3 and 4 here, getting ready to load up into the OB start zone. See Barney the Flagman with the green flag on display and up through the gears. Good clean start here up at the front. 27 machine Roger Pierce going to clear himself into turn 1 almost. Gulata keeps it around the outside quarter pound, but Gulata losing a little bit of ground there. Going to give up the spot to Roger Pierce. Pierce off of the lead here in 3.
Couple spun tires there on the restart. Got to be careful with that. Starting in second gear here. Depends on how hot the track is. The hotter it goes, the slicker it is on those restarts. But everyone seems to gather up and get away fine here. Roger Pierce trying to put a gap on that 98 machine down the back.
And that being the first start of the race, these guys have got to be on cold tires too. So I got to imagine that the wheel spinning is just a little bit of excitement maybe to get things started here.
Those cold tires, we talk about cold tires. We talk about the tires getting hot and slick.
We got a
big slide there for Chris Crosby.
Yeah, great save there. I mean, it's hard to save one of these things, especially at low speed in this next gen, and he just got on the brakes there and got it gathered up and only fell back to 5th, so he's got plenty of time to get back to that spot since he's lost.
Let's see what happened here as we work through 1 and 2. The 9 machine Chris Crosby on screen there and just grabs the throttle low quick. It'll snap around so easy on you here at Martinsville. Especially since, we're dropped down to 3rd gear. It's not like the old car where we keep things slammed in 4th and just, ride out on torque alone. You got a lot of wheel spin here with these gear ratios.
And these guys had a bit of a pep talk before, this race started. They all sort of agreed. I saw all the reactions on the Discord message, but they all sort of agreed to keep this one clean. Like, this is one that, using NIS as an example, no one wants to be the person who makes the mistake here to cause the yellow flag. Everyone here is going to be racing. I think most of the field's going to be on their best behavior tonight.
And getting spread out already, as a 98 is tracking down the 27 Roger Pierce, running about half a tenth faster per lap right now, kind of closing in on the 27 machine. And you can see the 27 kind of get unglued from the bottom right there, and that's where the 98 is starting to gain his time, but looking farther back in the field. And everybody's taking it nice and smooth and kind of listening to that pep talk that I was told earlier in the race, just taking it easy, running their own race car and trying to make it to the end here.
Gulata now up to the back bumper of the 27 machine of Pierce, but caught up, it looks like a little bit in that dirty air. We heard it get alluded to last night in the post-race interviews, how bad the dirty air was here this week. Sean, I know it's weird to be talking about dirty air, but how effective is it here this week at Martinsville?
It's very weird to be talking about dirty air when you're going 60 miles an hour through the corner, but I can tell you from first-hand experience, it is definitely real, and I can tell you that the 98 of Gulata is definitely feeling it right now. Being that close to the 27's rear bumper, he's starting to wrap that bottom more now. Roger's kind of blocking off that clean air from the splitter of the 98, so he's not getting as much of that clean air, and you can see him wiggle just a little bit. He's struggling to find grip out of the corner, just having to put so much wheel into it just to get the car straight.
There is another wiggle.
As he tries that high side now, that line does work. It is a very good line to get a run down the straightaway and try to get underneath the car in front of you. But it doesn't really work on these low rubber racetracks. It seems like the rubber needs to come in a little bit more for that top lane to work. As you see, when he went up there, nothing really happened. So he's gonna have to wait to try that move.
Yeah, I noticed last night too. It takes a while for that second lane to come in. It's been impossible to run up there this week in the B car just about because you don't get enough green flag laps in the B car this week for anything to get built up. And it's a conveyor belt in that series when you get up on the outside lines. We look at Benefit taking a peek down to the inside of the 9 machine of Crosby here into 3. This is the battle for 7th starting to heat up. Down the front straightaway with the advantage, the 83 machine of Benefield pulling the 26 of Paul Hill along with him now. And Crosby kind of in the danger zone because Patrick Gitter working that bottom line too. Crosby's about to lose 3 spots here down the back straightaway into 3.
Probably paying for that tire slide earlier in the race. Kind of locked him up. There was smoke at all 4 tires. We have a crash further back off of turn number 4, hard into the wall. No caution, he's going to get it rolling as there is a lot of damage on that machine.
Yeah, we don't even have a warning for it here on the timing. Let's get a look, though, in the way back machine and see exactly what happened here. The 71 of Keith Long. Ooh!
He's high up out of the groove. Optimal, you know, here at Martinsville is in the concrete. You get up into that asphalt, and you're pretty much along for the ride at that point. So he's got 2 tires straddling the concrete. Once he gets in, it gets a little too deep. Car slides up the track, gets up into the stuff a little bit. Back end kicks around. Could have been a lot worse than it was. Thankfully, he chased the car to the wall instead of trying to spin it back down into the groove to keep it off the wall.
He's going to pull that thing down pit road. Looks like terminal damage that he cannot continue this race with until it is fixed. So that's going to be costly for him. That's going to put him down multiple laps here, especially at Martinsville, with these 19-second lap times.
Benefield diving underneath the 13 machine of Daniel Wiles through 1 and 2 to take over the 6th spot. Wiles going to give him the position. Knows how fast that 83 machine is right now. As we do have the first caution on the Speedway, though. It looks like Josh Schaffner's backed into the fence into turn 1.
Yep, the 50 is going to be it. No other cars look like they're involved right now. No one in the warnings, at least. Let's go back and take a look. Step back in time a couple of seconds here. Schaffner down along this inside stretch into 1 and 2, I believe. Oh!
Couldn't tell if that was curb or wheel hop.
Yeah, yowza.
Yeah, it looked like he caught the curb there. Looked like he caught the curb there and tried to correct it just a little bit back to the right, and the car just hooked up and away it went into the outside wall. And as soon as the car broke right, it just lost traction. There was nothing he can do. That's a lot of damage on the front end of that thing, but he's still got plenty of laps to go get that all fixed and get back out there.
Thank you for him, too. He hit it flush in the center, too, so I can't imagine there's a tow issue with that 50 machine.
And
which
you know
that
what?
makes it at least a little bit easier. You know, you're going to be slower, but you'll at least know what direction the car is going to be slow in.
Yeah, that's fair. And how many times last night, Sheldon, did we see the curb come up and absolutely slap the ever-loving, snot out of a racer who just had the audacity to hit just the tiniest amount of it?
Oh, constantly. I mean, but, you know, that's one of the problems, too, with Martinsville, though. You know, you got that curb there, and when you get into the restarts one after the other, the intensity starts to ramp up more and more. Cars start to get more aggressive, so you try to send the car in a little bit deeper each restart, just not even thinking about it. And sometimes you send it in a little too deep, turn a little bit too early, get a little more rotation than you were expecting. You snap that curb, and next thing you know, that curb is going to snap you right back up the track.
And that's part of the keys of the race that I mentioned earlier. It's the opposite of what you want to do, but if you hug the inside too much, then obviously there's a curb down there, and any little slight tap of that curb is going to upset the car, just like we saw with that 50. I mean, he just barely drove over it, and it just sent the car to the right because you're going to have to turn back to the right so you don't spin to the left. It's just a bad situation to be in.
Yeah, no, that curb is certainly a you can look but you can't touch scenario. And I think every one of us have come across that at some point.
Lights are out in the pace car. We're going to get things kicked off again here. Pearson Galata leading things still out here at the front. Matt DeCiani still in third. The 1-2-3 has not changed here yet. as we look to get things kicked off one more time here. Looking for the OB Builders restart zone. Here we go. Let's see what happens. There's Barney with the flag. The flag is down, and there they go. The 27 with a good leap off the line.
Yep, here's massive advantage there on that restart. The perks of being the leader here on the restart. You know, the initial start, you have to wait till the green flag restarts. Leader can go whenever he wants to. So we got Reiner with some network issues up there on the outside line. See the car teleporting back into the pass and coming right back to us.
Big gap for 27, Roger Pierce down the backstretch. The 5 of DeCiani looked to the inside of Galata on that restart. He rolled it pretty good being in that third car. He just couldn't get it done, couldn't wrap it enough with enough pace to stay on the inside of Galata. But Galata was slowed up a little bit by that, but now he's on a mission to track down the 27.
Got eyes on DeCiani right now, the 5, and then Reiner, who's still riding that outside line there. He kind of blends in a little bit when we get into the stretch, but then as soon as we get into the turns, you can see Reiner is still flying high. Then we got Luke Christian on the outside right now of the 17 of Paul Gallimore. Gallimore working with Christian. Man, it's a clean side-by-side, no banging, no threats here and there, but Christian maybe having a little stability issue compared to the two cars. He still has the speed, though. Christian out in front, taking that spot from Gallimore.
A little fight for position
line
there.
momentum. Christian using that outside line momentum to propel him past that 17 machine down here into 3 and 4. So he's right on board with Patrick Gitter, now working the top line, trying to get past the 17 machine. And Gitter, you know, you mentioned it earlier, interesting one to watch. Showed up last second to the race, no practice laps, hardly got a qualifying lap in, but looking pretty strong here in this 21 machine. So he moves himself up into 11th spot, now looking to properly try and get up to 10th here from Luke Christian.
Up 2 positions and showing a lot of pace here as he tracks down the 3. 3 just got in a battle with Paul Gallimore behind him. His tires might be a little hot, trying to cool him down, and maybe the 21 of Patrick Gitter can take advantage of that as he takes that wide line trying to get a run on Luke Christian down the front stretch.
And meanwhile, a little bit further up the pack here, Brandon Pastelak was starting to feel a little bit of heat from behind as the 83 machine of Adam Benefield was starting to get to that rear bumper. And Benefield, I feel like, what, is that the only car that's made, you know, more than a handful of spots here so far tonight? 31 laps in, that 83 machine is looking hooked up.
Up 3 spots and looking for more as he's peeking to the inside of the 6 car. Can't get it done though. He's going to have to try to formulate a run here as he's got Paul Hill behind him, also looking for any mistake out of these two to take a position away from both of them. So Benefield has to be careful here as he looks to try to get another run on the 6 car.
That's a really good point too, Sean, is that Paul Hill is there. He's been an opportunist this whole race so far. He's been up 8 positions, the most we've seen in any racer in the race right now. He's in 6th, up from where he started. So if there is anyone, you know, like you said, if there is a mistake that's going to get made, Paul Hill is going to notice it. He's going to take advantage of it. And that means that Benefield and Pastelacqua are officially on notice.
And Paul Hill, that's another one of those drivers too that I would keep my eyes on here at Martinsville. You know, we talked, you know, they used to talk back in the day about how AJ Allmendinger was so good here. It was the only oval that he could really get around back in the day. And reason being, you know, those road course guys, Paul Hill, really good every time we go to the road courses here in the Cup car. So there's something just about being really good with that modular braking that's so useful at the road courses that transfers perfect here to Martinsville, where you're pretty much on the brakes, what feels like, as much as you are on the throttle.
It definitely is. It's basically the last chicane at Sonoma, or last hairpin at Sonoma, just reversed. You're going left and instead of right. So, I mean, it's the same skills that apply to the corners like that on road courses that apply here.
Field here, Benefield getting stalked now by the 26 machine of Paul Hill, and you can see where that dirty air is really starting to hamper some of these guys. A lot of fast cars just kind of mired here, not able to find anything to make themselves, you know, that little bit better that they need to make the passes. Kind of feels a little bit like Gateways. We see the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter working down to the inside of Chris Crosby here. Gitter moving himself up into the 9th spot. And another car I keep my eyes on because we know how good Gitter is on these long run short tracks.
Adam Benefield falls back a spot to 6 here. He lets Paul Hill go down the straightaway. Maybe thinks that Paul Hill can have something for the 6 car. If he can let him go up there and let them two race each other, they can burn their tires up, and the 83 can just sit back and take advantage and get those 2 spots back. But we're going to have to see if Paul Hill can even get back to that 6 car, running a little bit faster times than him right now. See if that can keep up the closer he gets and gets in that 30 air.
Just like Paul Hill kind of struggling, though. He tags the fence coming out of turn 4 once he gets up to the back bumper of the 6 machine.
That's exactly what I was talking about. The closer you get, the more that 30 air effect has on you. And the more that 30 air effect has on you, the tighter you're going to be. And you want to put more wheel in it and put more gas in it, trying to get as much time as you can, and that's going to really upset your car.
It's amazing to me to think that there is... Oh, go on.
No, you're good.
It's amazing to me to think that there is, wind. Like you said, we talked about this briefly earlier. It's amazing to me to think that we're talking about having dirty air issues at 60 miles an hour in the corners. But these guys are learning the firsthand, and Sean, you've mentioned firsthand so far that there really is disturbance here for these cars, and there is really a fight to be had. And so once again, Gulata is in that fight, and we've seen him in that fight at least 2 or 3 times tonight. He's got to make up the speed, though, and I'm not sure, where do you find the speed here? Maybe this is a question for you, Sean. Where do you find the speed as Joseph Gulata to get around Roger Pierce?
If I'm Joseph Gulata, I'm starting to struggle. I see he's starting to slide around a little bit looking for air. I'm waiting. If I can't get around him right now, I'm waiting. I'm backing off, and it looks like that might be what he's doing. I'm backing off, and I'm looking ahead about 5 or 6 seconds or so up the road. There is a ton of lap cars, and as soon as Roger gets those lap cars, he's going to be in that dirty air. So Joseph and Roger are going to be exactly equal on air once Roger gets to those lap cars, and that's going to be the opportunity that Joseph has to strike.
But a wiggle for Gulata out of turn 4 there. Back end about swaps around on the 98 machine. Keeps it pointed in the right direction, though. Gets a pretty decent launch off the corner. Now sending it back down to 1 and 2. And right now, yeah, Gulata just kind of riding. Just really the only option he has right now, because that, when we go to Kansas or Las Vegas, you get stuck in the dirty air. You can go places. You can make things happen. Try different lines. Find ways to get air to some part of the splitter to kind of get the car to rotate a little bit better. But here at Martinsville, there's only one lane that you can really use. Because if you go up on that outside line, you're going to bust your tail pretty quick if you don't do it right.
Yeah, anything lower than the car in front of you is the curb, and we saw what that did to a car earlier in the race, head on into the fence. It's just, there's not many places to go. I mean, that outside lane really only works to try to get a run. It's not a viable line to run consistently to gain pace, so that bottom lane is really all you have. But if I'm Joseph Gulata, I am starting to have a little bit of a smile on my face, because I'm seeing those lap cars in the windshield getting bigger and bigger. And when Roger gets to those, he's going to get slowed up. So like I said earlier, if I'm Joseph Gulata, I'm backing it up, I'm saving my tires, I'm cooling them down, and when Roger gets to these lap cars, he's going to have some trouble.
Roger now working himself up to the back of one of these lap machines. That'll be the 58 of Kleinman. Kleinman with pretty bad damage on both the front and rear of that Camry. So don't imagine that to be too much of a challenge for Roger Pierce to find his way by. As you see him show the nose on entry here into turn 1. 58 Kleinman stays out of the way, up on the outside, not trying to hold these 2 leaders up. Respectable move there.
Now he lets him go, but even when a lap car is letting you go, they're still slowing you down. As you see, Roger had to enter that corner there a lane lower, and that cost him an entire 10th from his last lap. Joseph Gulata gained a 10th there that last lap, just from Roger entering a lane lower and being in that dirty air for about a lap behind that lap car. And he's got about like 6 more in front of him here that he's got to go through, and each and every single time he's going to open that door and Gulata's going to follow him right through it.
Same time, though, I don't feel like Roger's sweating too much. He knows that catching him's one thing, passing him's another. I mean, you see it week in and week out. Roger Pierce, one of the more difficult guys to work yourself past here in the OB Builders Cup Series or NIS. So I don't expect him to make it easy, even if Gulata does get to the rear bumper.
That's true. Pierce is a force of nature. I almost said a force to be reckoned with. When he turns it up, he really turns it up, and it's going to be a matter of two disciplines that he's juggling at the same time here. I'm looking forward to seeing how he exactly conquers it, as we're about to find out as he gets closer and closer to Josh Schaffner, or excuse me, the 24 of Jose Medina.
Look at all the time gain from the 98 right there. Now the 98 is going to have to also enter just a little bit lower, so that's going to slow him up a little bit. But if he can follow Roger through these windows that he's making, he's going to gain a lot of time like he is already. I mean, it was another 10th he gained that lap, just from being behind that lap car for just a slight bit. They're going to even out again this time because he had to go around that lap car himself. But as he gets to these extra 5 lap cars in front of him, it's going to bring that 98 closer to that 27 every single time.
See him now dive underneath the 25 machine of Greg Carr. Carr takes it all the way up against the wall to let the guys by. Next up is going to be Joshua Hyatt and Russell Black for Roger Pierce to try and work his way by. And you see that gap starting to diminish. Turn 4, though, that lap goes into the favor of Roger Pierce. A couple hundredths quicker than second place Joseph Gulata. Pierce diving down to the inside here to get past the 2 machine of Hyatt. Tidy up against the curb here through 3 and 4. Loses a little bit of time there to Gulata, though. An easier entry for Gulata.
Over a 10th that lap, Gulata gained. Just from that slight maneuver that Roger had to make to go around that lap car. I mean, I don't know if Gulata has the sustainable pace to keep with that 27, but if Roger can get slowed up enough, maybe they can go side by side. Maybe the 98 can get a run. Maybe he can do something to try to slow up the 27 and to keep him from running away with it. He's got 2 more chances, 2 more lap cars in front of him until there is a big pocket of air to the next lap car.
Not the easiest of lap cars to get by either. The next one, anyway, the 33 machine of Chris Vincent. We know he's going to try and do everything he can to fight and claw and attempt to stay on the lead lap here.
No, absolutely not. And the farther you get up the field, the faster the cars are. And the faster the cars are, they're going to be harder to pass. I mean, all those guys running in the back, it's kind of an easy pass, but as you get farther and farther up the field, it's going to be harder and harder as they're running faster lap times.
And Gulata is there now. Just a car length separating these two.
2.5 tenths that lap. Roger stuck in the dirty air. He's going to be there for about an extra lap. Maybe not. Hand out the window for Chris Vincent's going to let him go. Holding him tight, though. That's going to knock the 98's momentum off as he's going to have to go to the inside of Vincent. That's going to put an extra car length between them. That definitely did not help Gulata.
No, not at all. Catching them on exit is way more detrimental, I feel, than catching them on entry. Especially at a track like Martinsville, where you need every inch of the racing surface to be able to get the throttle down.
Yeah.
Gulata loses a good bit there, too. You know, he was right on the bumper coming into the corner, and corner exit, not the case anymore.
You know, that chase has evaporated just a little bit.
And the reason for that is just these cars, especially with this new update that came out a season ago, it's just, especially here with the track temp and just all the conditions of this week at Martinsville, you need as wide of an entry as you can get going into this. Just with the amount of braking is just so sketchy getting in there. I mean, if you have to brake while turning just a little couple extra degrees of steering wheel input, you're going to be locking up. And then you try to put the brake towards the rear, and then you wind up locking the rears. It's very finicky on the brakes. And the lower you have to go to try to get around a lap car, the more steering input you have to put in just to get to the bottom. And that's just going to slow you tremendously just trying to make the corner without a mistake.
Everything's running right now. Pierce still your race leader over Gulata in second. DeCiani holding on to third after all these laps with Paul Hill fourth and Benefield rounding out your top five. Sixth place at the moment. Brandon Passalak with Bryce Rayner seventh. Eighth, Patrick Gitter in ninth place. Daniel Wiles and Luke Christian rounding out your top 10.
And that battle with Paul Hill and Brandon Pascalaka, a couple laps ago, it seems like he got around him and put a good, decent gap on him. I think it's about a 3-second gap back to Pascalaka. And like I said, Adam was just sitting back there following Paul through. He let him go, pull his stuff off, and now he's just following Paul through the field as Paul Hill is on the back bumper of Matt DeCiani down the backstretch, showing the nose. Can't get there. He's definitely showing him that he's there. And then 83 of Adam Benefield is just waiting for Paul Hill to open that window to follow him through.
See Benefield working that outside, trying to build a good launch down the back straightaway. Going to try to get down to the inside of the 26 machine of Paul Hill. Fakes to the bottom. Forces Paul to enter more shallow into turn 3. Now going for that same run again out of 3 and 4.
Adam might be making his own window there as he peeked to the inside. Maybe he's not waiting for Paul Hill. Maybe he thinks that he can get both of them. But we're going to have to see as Paul Hill makes a little bit of a mistake, goes a little bit wide. He's just trying to do everything to get a run on that 5 car, but just can't seem to do it. He's got to hold off the 83 behind him and attack the car in front of him. That's the hard thing to do. And here comes 83 to the inside. He is making his own window. He is going after Paul Hill, trying to get after Matt DeCiani after he's done.
Paul Hill gets a better drive out of turn 2, but Adam Benefield just able to keep the bumper to the quarter here into turn 3. Going to be side by side out of 3 and 4. To the front straightaway, though, the advantage to the 26 of Paul Hill.
Can't do it. He just can't get close enough. He's got to be able to get to that left front tire on entry so that he can wrap the bottom and still get a good enough entry off. That top lane isn't the best mid-corner, but it can get a really good run off, and that's exactly what Paul Hill's doing. 83 now, looking back. He's going to try that outside lane, try to get a run on them. As he cuts back down, he just can't get the cut through the center to get back down to get that run off.
83 keeps teasing a high line, but then he ends up getting tucked back in behind the 26 of Paul Hill there. 83 of Adam Benefield. On the turns, he doesn't quite dip down as far as the guys ahead of him does, and I think he's trying to maintain some speed, maybe for a moment here, but I think he's on a tire saving game right now. He's just enjoying the drive with these three. So it's hard for me to tell, but I don't think that Benefield's trying to make a pass right now.
I mean, he could be. That second lane could definitely save the rear tires because you're not having as much of an angle in the car coming off of the corner as you get on the throttle. But to me, it looks like he's trying to get to around the outside of Paul Hill. If he can get there, he might be able to get side by side. And if he's side by side, he's going to be able to get a run off. He's going to hang on the right rear quarter panel off the corner. Paul Hill gets the drive. He's not going to be able to get there. Peeking down into the inside at turn number 3.
Well, it is Benefield. If there's any way to save tires, you know he's going to try and do it. All over the back bumper here, the 26 machine through 3 and 4. A little bit of a log jam. DeCiani didn't get the corner he wanted. Now here comes Paul Hill working the outside through 1 and 2 to try and get past the 5 machine, but that opens the door. Here comes Benefield with a huge run out of turn 2.
He's going to get side by side with him. He got that left front tire, like I was saying. He's going to keep the run off. They're going to stay side by side. Now he's on the offensive. Now he's got the spot. He is confirmed to be on the inside of the 26, and he can just roll the bottom right around him. That's what I was saying. If he can get to that left front tire, the outside car at the center of the corner, it's an easy pass from there on out.
That's exactly what happened.
Moving himself up into 4th, now setting his eyes forward to 3rd place as he gets to the back bumper of DeCiani. These guys having a great battle here for the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, their race leaders just completely checked away. 5 seconds separating first place from 3rd here at the moment.
Nicolada's just not been able to keep that consistent gap He gains and gains every time that there's a lap car in front of Roger. But when there isn't a lap car in front of Roger, the next one up the road is about 2 seconds. There's a lot of clean air on the front nose of that 27. And there is just nothing that the 98 can do in the dirty air behind him to just stay there.
Oh, DeCiani high in 1 and 2. A little bit of contact between him and Benefiel. That's going to shoot DeCiani down the pylon, because now Paul Hill is going to take away the 4th spot from him. You could look at a replay here. Benefiel already over the radio apologizing. Didn't mean to get into him. Oh, they're correcting me. They never touched.
Never got into him there. Maybe just overcooked the corner from the 5 car. Maybe looking in his mirror.
Yeah, I think DeCiani saw that 83 was coming pretty quick. Moved out of the way. Smart move. You know, you got 2 very smart, calculated drivers between Matt DeCiani and Adam Benefiel, so really good situational awareness from everything I've seen.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was a lot of respect between those 2 drivers. I mean, they both got on the radio. They were apologizing to each other. They didn't really know what happened. They were just trying to make sure they were on the same page, just making sure that everything was okay with them. And it seemed to be a contactless wreck or incident, not a wreck, but yeah, they seem to have a lot of respect for each other on and off the track, and just trying not to get into each other for unnecessary reasons here. As we approach lap 90, closing in on that lap 100 mark, and these guys are going to run out of fuel. They haven't pit yet. They're going to run out of fuel around that 150 to 170 mark, I would believe. So a little bit of time from now and then in between pit stops, but now is when they start to think about when do they want to pit. They have like a 20 lap window to pit here. We'll see when people decide on their strategies.
My question is, Sean, when is the last time that you've witnessed 2 guys apologize to each other about contact that didn't happen?
Hey man, that's what I said. There's a lot of respect there. I mean, they just want to make sure they're on the same page, and I respect that. You know, it's just that's respectful racing, making sure no one did each other wrong, and they can just continue on with their race and try to move on forward.
It's just a testament to me too for how good of a field that the LB Builders Cup Series has built here for these drivers, where you see that respect and you see the respect being paid week in and week out. You know, we've had a couple moments this year where, you know, we've had drivers tussle, but, you know, that's few and far between compared to, you know, what we're used to calling here on Grid Vision. And I'm so looking forward to another season of this next year.
Yeah, I mean, when do you see a race go this long at Martinsville? I mean, this is closing in on the longest run of the week. I mean, we are on lap 94. These guys haven't pit yet, but we did have that caution around lap 20-ish. So this is entering the lap 70-ish stage of this run, and that passes the longest run that I have seen this week. And I've talked to a lot of people. I've asked, hey, has there been a longer run than that 70-lap run on A-Open on Monday night? Everyone has just said no. It's been caution fest in those official races. So this is just a testament to how good this league is and how respectful everybody is in this league. Just keep these races green, drive their own race cars, and just see what they got.
Also, not only that, the only caution we've had was just that single car self spin. Just a little bit of wheel hop, you know, no contact, no bumper, no multi-car pile up. It's just impressive, man. Every week I get amazed because I feel like, you know, I've come into the short tracks every season. I'm just like, yeah, this is going to be terrible to watch, terrible to cover. You know, we get that with the NIS. We find a way to have fun with it. But here in OB, you know, we get the taste of poison the night before on Wednesday nights. Then we come here on Thursdays. We all dread it because we know, yeah, it's probably going to happen. And it never does. Knock on wood. Again.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's a different show. Completely different experience.
Look at the 26th machine of Paul Hill cycling around here in 4th spot. Everybody on the field right now pretty far separated from each other, though. So we're going to use this opportunity as a quick moment to go step aside and get a quick word from our sponsors. And we'll be back to bring you more of the racing action here on the Grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the OB Builders Cup Series here from Martinsville Speedway. 108 laps on the board. Roger Pierce with a 0.3 of a second lead over Joseph Gulata. Stuck in a little bit of lap traffic as you see him take the dive down to the bottom here to 3 to get past the 9 machine of Chris Crosby. And this corner is going to work out pretty well for Gulata. Well, not quite. Caught him on exit. Gained a little bit there, though.
Every time he rolls through this lap traffic, he gains and gains and gains. As we see an interesting strategy from Matt DeCiani. He just rolled down pit lane, maybe going for the 2-stop here. If these guys can make it to 162, they can make it on 1 stop, but it depends. It depends on how this fuel load is in these cars with going green so long. We have not been green this long at any point in this league, so I personally don't know how long they can make it on fuel. But that is going to be up to them. I'm sure they're all looking at their fuel calculators right now, looking at when they can make it. And if they can't, I assume that they're going to be coming down here soon to also follow up on that 2-stop.
So on the tire difference, do you think there's any big payoff for the 2-stops? We see the 27 Roger Pierce dive down.
I mean, tires definitely make a difference, but the fuel is more. If you can stay out and make it to that 1-stop, and it's going to pay very beneficial, but obviously they can't. Roger is definitely one that looks at his fuel calculator a lot. He knows the fuel strategy, and they obviously cannot make it to that 162 mark. So he's going to come in about 50 laps early and just try to 2-stop it here to the end.
And that was not a glitch you saw on the screen there, guys. The 98 machine of Gulata, heavy lockup on the front tires coming into pit road. It'll be interesting to see if there might be a speeding attached to that.
There was no black flag for Joseph Gulata. He made it in safe.
That is good news for him as Adam Benefield takes the lead here. And there's one guy that I can see
And the
trying to
caution's
stretch
out.
it late. Yellow.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. Right during pit stops. I mean, Roger Pierce is 1 lap down. He's lucky he's not 2, but
Yeah.
wow.
Couldn't have asked for worse timing on this.
Comes a race of long green flag runs. This could have very well just fallen into Benefield's lap. Take a
And
look at
this wreck looked like one of the keys to the race. Like I
Oh,
said,
yep.
too much rear brake.
Look at Vincent. That was amazing.
Wow.
Great
The wreck avoidance from the 33 machine. That you don't see that often.
Just too much rear brake. I mean, he was heavy on it, right? Because he was trying to pass that 33, so he threw it in there harder than he would on any regular lap. He threw it in there, had a lot of rear brake in it, and the rear end just came around. And when it comes around, you're putting heat in it while you're sliding in. And even if you save it, like he did, he caught the curb, and that just upset the car even more and sent it around.
Could that have maybe been a mistimed shift? Got down to third a little too quick, caused it to chatter?
That could also happen, you know, too much rear brake. Also with the downshift going too fast. I mean, if you rev it up to 9,000 before the car wants to, then it's gonna lock up those rears.
Rough break there. And Chris Crosby coming in pretty late here under the yellow. Got his trying to get this 5 points though. He's gonna get it as Oh, yeah, he's going to get it. Benefit had a ways to go to get to him.
Yeah.
Rough break for Bryce Rayner, but actually kind of working out in his favor. You know, not the way he wanted to get up here into the podium range of things, but sitting in third place right now.
And who is the beneficiary from this? Adam Benefield. We saw he was quite far back on that run. That run went for a long time, but he was holding pace with those leaders. He was just a little bit too far back on the short run to show anything that he had. But now he's leading. Now that short run doesn't matter. All he has to do is defend, and he can save as much as he wants and have that long run pace. Now those others are going to have to run him down on older tires, pass him, and still have enough for the long run if we make it there again.
I look at these first two rows, and I see long run pace with three of these cars. That 83 machine of Benefield, always great at it. The 6 Passalaqua as well, and Patrick Gitter has worked his way up to 4th spot as we enter the OB restart zone. Green flag is out. We are back underway, and Adam Benefield leads the field into 1.
Very messy restart back there in the pack. The cars that had to be waved around did not catch up in time. They're there now, but they just could not get an advantage that they needed to by being lined up properly.
Keep your eyes on that 27 machine of Roger Pierce as he tries to carve through the traffic here up to the back bumper. The 9 machine of Chris Crosby out of turn 4. A dive down into 1 to try and make the pass, and he's going to make it stick through 1 and 2. Roger Pierce moving up to 6th.
And this is what I was talking about earlier in the race. Matt DeCiani has a rabbit to chase. He can just follow the 27 through this field, let the 27 make the window for him, and just follow him through. He's falling a little bit behind. That window might close by the time he gets there. He needs to try to stay on top of that 27.
27 machine now working his way past the 13 of Wiles up into the 5th spot for Roger Pierce.
Pierce is probably wondering when he's going to be able to get back into that dominant position again as he works his way back up through the field. Wiles, one we haven't talked about too much. He's down 2 from where he started. Already getting passed now pretty cleanly there by Roger Pierce.
Pierce now with just 1 lap car separating him from track position. He's got to get past the 33 machine of Chris Vinson before he can get to the back of the 41 machine of Bryce Rayner. Patrick Gitter moved himself up to 3rd spot there on the restart, right behind Brandon Passalaqua. And they're just a couple car lengths back from race leader Adam Benefield, and Gitter starting to put the heat to the back of the 6th machine. They're working that high line, trying to get the momentum down the front straightaway. Takes a dive down to turn 1. Passalaqua, give and take. Going to give him the spot here into turn 1. Let that 21 machine go, see if he has what he needs to bring the fight to the 83 of Benefield.
And this is what I was talking about. That 27 is fighting through this field, gaining his spots back that he needs to. Galata also back there. 2 cars back. He's a little bit of ways back time-wise, but if Roger's going to get held up here, then he could get that position back and try to go with Roger to the front of the field. Now, this caution that came out about 10 laps ago does not put these guys in a situation to go to the end of the race here. So I'm gonna see if we go green here. I would expect these cars to come down around like 220-ish, 215, trying to get those last set of tires and fuel to make it to the end.
You see Roger making the pass on the 33 machine of Vincent. That's lap car. Now he's going to set his sights on the 4th place machine of Bryce Rayner. But Roger looks like he's sending a little deep into the corner here. He's missed the line a couple of times here. I think he might be oversending it there, Sean.
Oh, he's mad for sure. I mean, I don't blame him. You know, this caution came out at a horribly wrong time.
Oh,
It was
Vincent
center
around.
of 33, and that will put a smile on Roger's face. Now, I don't think he will be as mad because he can come down and get equal tires as everybody else.
This puts him in a great spot now.
But took the smile right off of Adam because he just got passed by Gitter.
Ugh.
He let him go
Ooh.
as soon as that caution came out. That has got to be killing him inside.
You see Joseph Gulata gets caught in it. Tags the back of the spinning 33 machine out of turn 4. Run on board of Vincent just gets loose on corner exit.
Yep, it's those cold tires. I mean, especially in the first 5 to 10 laps of the run, the tires just don't have the grip. I mean, they are at their fastest, but they are also at their sketchiest. It is very sketchy, those first 5 to 10 laps, and just a little bit too much power with a little bit too much wheel. I'm going to assume that's what it was because it looked like he was half a lane off the bottom there, probably trying to keep the car from going into the wall, just keeping a lot of wheel in it while also getting back on the gas, and that just sends the car around when it's in that sketchy phase. We'll see if anyone brings it down pit road here. I wonder if Roger will after getting a lot of heat in those tires. Or maybe he's just going to cool him down under caution because he decides to stay out.
Roger definitely valuing the track position more than anything right now, but I feel like if there's ever been a time to throw on a fresh set of Goodyears, this probably be a good one.
I mean, that's a fair call. These tires do cool down and heat cycle very well. They're not like some of the other cars, you know, the B car, the C car, they don't really heat cycle as well. At these slower tracks, they seem to heat cycle very well and can get up to that same pace as new tires for those first couple laps. The difference that you'll see it start to come in is on that longer run. If they can get a longer run, those newer tires will last for longer. The tire pressures are lower, the heats are lower, the wear is higher. So higher percentage. So those old tires, especially after 10 laps, shouldn't be too bad. Just worrying about the heats for Roger Pierce right now. Hopefully we trying to cool those down and get back towards the front.
We see Roger also kind of aggressively trying to cool the tires too. You saw him in the corners going all the way up against the wall, getting into that track surface that hasn't been getting used any during this race. And here on the straightaways, diving it all the way down just about to the inside wall on both ends. So pulling out every trick in the book here to try and make sure that those Goodyear Eagles are nice and cool.
There goes the pace car now. We're getting ready to get things kicked off once again. The flag's about to wave. It's Gitter and Benefiel out on the front. 83 and then 21 both looking good. Looking for that OB restart zone. There it is right now. We've got the cameras lined up. And the green flag is waving. There they go. Gitter out to the front with a great launch there.
Gitter, the control car there, chose the outside lane. It's something you don't really see here at Martinsville, but that's going to give him the better angle down into 1. They're trying to drive away from the 83. Big send by 27, but he can't make it stick. The door closes at the last second. Roger Pierce being really aggressive here, trying to get back to the front. Is just nowhere to go. The door is closed on the outside and the inside right now.
That's Lock. We're going to make the pass for third over the 41 machine of Bryce Rayner. Now here comes Roger Pierce trying to take away fourth from the 41 machine. 3 and 4. Roger Pierce all the way down by the curbing. Gets a great launch out of turn 4 with the advantage. He's going to take over the 4th spot. And disappear.
Oh no. Roger Pierce has disappeared. It's the same thing that happened to him last night. His PC has been having issues, iRacing crashing or his computer crashing. It has been one full lap. He is not back yet. That is not a very promising sign as Paul Hill takes his spot.
Really unfortunate.
No. Roger Pierce has had the most horrible turn of luck here in the past 3 or 4 months out of, I think, anybody.
It's been 2 full laps now and that car has not reappeared. I'm sure that we will see the disconnect message in a second, but that was not a disconnect on his own, as we see the Roger Pierce has dropped due to connection loss. Absolute heartbreaker for that 27. Led the most laps tonight. It's just been out front all night, been driving through traffic, been holding on to the lead. Just bad situation.
No one wanted to see it
now. Joseph Gulata, and almost loses it out of turn 4 as soon as I was about to talk about him. And now here comes DeCiani to the inside of the 41 machine. Down here through 1 and 2. DeCiani going to take over the 6th place spot from Bryce Rayner.
Missed opportunity there. they saw the 98 get loose, and they got loose themselves. Almost had a good run on Joseph there, but Joseph's going to be able to collect himself. He's already attacking on the 26 with those heated up tires.
There's one thing about Gulata. He's not afraid to stab the throttle. Run on board with him now, trying to get past the 26 machine of Paul Hill, working the outside line through 1 and 2. Hill going to keep it nice and tidy around the curb. Gulata gets a good run out of turn 2 and a huge shot of momentum to get himself squared up here in 3 and 4 on the outside.
And I mean, how about Patrick Gitter? I mean, no practice, no nothing. Showed up after qualifying, didn't get a qualifying lap in, and here he is leading. He was able to take advantage of that pit cycle during that caution, and he is pulling away with it right now. He's got good pace. I mean, the 83 could be saving for that long run. It's very possible, as they still have a pit stop left to do. Joseph Gulata into third. Brandon's going to let him have that, and Gulata now has his sights set on second, maybe even the lead if he's feeling that he wants to push hard enough.
Tell you what, always look for Gitter at these short tracks, and this is the reason why 21 machine always looks pretty stout when we come here. As we see Gulata now up to third spot, working the outside line to try and build a run on the 83 machine of Benefield. Remember, this was the second best car the entire first stint. Wouldn't even say so much second best. Him and Pierce were pretty much swapping lap times the entire first green flag run. And unfortunately, Pierce out of the race now with connectivity issues, but this could open up to be Gulata's shot to win tonight. As you see him dive down underneath Benefield into 3. Benefield give and take, going to let that 98 machine go here through 3 and 4. And now Gulata setting his sights on race leader Patrick Gitter.
Yeah, he really went too. He's got more than a car length now already out on Benefield, and Gitter is within his sights, easily attainable at this point. If he's got the right timing in some of these braking zones, I think he's going to be able to tighten it up a little bit. Probably within the next lap or two, we'll be seeing some challenge coming out of the Gulata camp.
A stripe that time, 19.284 for Patrick Gitter and 19.107 for Joseph Gulata. Almost 2/10 advantage for the 98 Chevrolet.
Gulata on the move. He was one of the cars that had to come from the back with Roger, was following Roger, and now is up to the front. Running faster than that 21 machine. And that top lane that I talked about that wasn't in yet, look at all that pace that the 98 is finding up there.
Gulata trying to work the outside line again through 3 and 4. This lap, though, falling into the hands of Patrick Gitter. But not by much, just 5/1000ths of a second at the stripe that time. Look at how deep he's charging the car into the corners, too.
That's one of the things you can do. With running that outside lane, you can drive it in harder and exit harder. There's a lot of pace up there when it comes in, I'm telling you.
How much of a detriment is the top line here at Martinsville to the tires?
I would say it would hurt the right front more. You're putting a lot more load on it, getting into the corner and running harder, and cutting down harder. But I would say that it saves the rear more. You're exiting straighter, you have less of an angle off of the corner, and your car is pointed straight by the time you're 3/4 of the way through the corner. And you get a massive run from it too without having to light up tires. So I'd say it hurts the right front there, but maybe if you light them up like he just did right there, it might hurt the rears a little bit.
He's just keeping it balanced, I think. You see Gulata getting up to the back bumper now of the 21 machine of Gitter, sending it in up on the right rear quarter panel through 3 and 4.
He's there.
Trying to pitch Gitter down, but not able to do it. Gets a little tight in that outside lane.
Yeah.
Great run, though, into turn 1. Now dead even into 1 and 2.
Look at the run that he's going to get here. I mean, Gitter just can't get into the corner like Gulata can.
A lot of bouncing coming out of Gulata, though, I'm seeing here. I'm wondering, was that from the on the exits and a little bit on the entrance too? Just a little bit of left and right. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Maybe just from braking.
That's definitely not a visual glitch. That is definitely a part of the racing here. There's a lot of bumps on the entry and on the middle of these corners, especially in that third lane that Gulata's running right now, as he's going to make the pass into turn number 1. New leader, 98, Joseph Gulata.
Amazing work there.
you've also got to factor in too the amount of load on the suspension. Goulart is sending it in a lot harder, a lot deeper, carrying more momentum, which means more load into the suspension. Whereas you got Gitter, working the bottom line, low and slow, nice and steady, not putting as much load into the suspension because he's not having to, use as drastic a inputs as that 98 machine of Goulart is. But it's working out for Goulart right now. Giving it the extra 10%. Can't do it at a lot of tracks, but that 98 machine finding a way to do it here tonight at Martinsville.
And that might just be something that Gitter doesn't have in his car. He just didn't have the practice. Maybe just couldn't get it down to where he can send the corners that deep this late into the run. And we definitely know that Joseph has that in his car right now. And even Adam Benefield back there just lurking. I mean, I gotta think that he's just saving. I mean, he let those two guys go. He's just riding around. He's just been hugging the bottom. Hasn't ventured up to the top yet. And he's hanging with them. I gotta imagine he's gonna turn the jets on here soon and make a charge for that lead as Patrick Gitter is coming back to his nose right here.
Well, I will say it does feel like a weekly occurrence with Goulart that he's going to throw the car in a line that nobody else has made work and find a way to make it work. Noticed that at Vegas, Kansas, just about everywhere we end up on the circuit, he's up in the contrarian lane and somehow not blowing the tires off at the same time, whereas you see, a lot of guys go out there and do stuff that doesn't necessarily work for the long term.
And what I was saying earlier, I think is coming true because Adam Benefield with two cars, 2 layers of dirty air in front of him, is running half a tenth faster than Joseph Goulart, the leader, and about over half a tenth faster than Patrick Gitter. Patrick Gitter backing up to him. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough because the closer he gets to those cars, the more dirty air is going to slow him down. He needs to find a way quickly around that 21 machine so he can focus on the leader.
And right now you see that master class of tire saving that Benefield talks about so frequently. Well, not Benefield, but us. We talk about it all the time. And it's starting to pay off because he is onto the back bumper. That 21 machine of Patrick Gitter trying to figure some kind of way past him. Takes a peek to the bottom. Gitter letting him have it into turn 1.
That was ultimate respect right there. Adam let him go earlier, and Patrick just let him back by. Very, very respectful racing of those two. A lot of give and take. That was very good.
That right there. That's how you get a Martinsville race that goes green as close to flag as possible. That right there, give and take, it's something we don't see anymore. When I started out on iRacing, I know when Benefield started out on iRacing, we both came around the same time frame. We're all old around here at this point. There was a lot of give and take, a lot of, Mark Martin driver personalities. And nowadays, everybody's, a little more on that Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski train where you just, drive the hell out of them every single lap. And eventually people get impatient and mistakes are made.
And this is Joseph Goulart versus Roger Pierce all over again, except it's Joseph Goulart and Adam Benefield. The lap traffic is coming up. That's going to slow down Joseph Goulart. And Adam Benefield on those tires that he saved is going to be able to roll up on Goulart. Now in this case, I think in the first round that Roger was a little bit faster, dirty air or not, than Goulart. But I think this time, Adam Benefield might have the tires better than Goulart here as he sat back and saved for all that time. See what he can do here.
The pace it's tough to say just based on the visual right now. Like seeing them accordion and getting a little bit closer here, it's a little bit tough for me to say, but with the interval being about a solid 1 second, and it's going from 1 second to just below a second to just above a second. They're so close. I think you're right. I think that this is going to be a long run kind of situation where tires are going to come into play, and then the more you see decay from Goulart, the more you're going to see the benefit of Benefield's driving.
And if Benefield wants to go, I would think that he wants to go now because we only got about 40 or so laps until these guys got to make another pit stop. And now, judging off these guys' tires, they can look back at their first run. Did they wear the left sides enough? Or is Adam Benefield willing to take the risk of 2 tires to jump ahead of Joseph Galata, or anyone for that matter, because Gitter is still there, Paul Hill is still there, Matt DeCiani is still there. All of those cars are still in range for a 2-tire jump on the leader to get in front and get that track position and put dirty air on the car behind you.
Right on board with DeCiani here down the front straightaways. He tries to close on the 26 machine of Paul Hill. Hill kind of starting to favor that outside line a little bit too. I don't know if it's just an overdrive there into one that shot him up the track like that, or if that was calculated. Based on how he's running 3 and 4, maybe just an overshot. That 26 machine of Paul Hill putting together a pretty strong race here too as he starts to close into the back bumper. The 21 machine of Patrick Gitter trying to take over third. And up at the front of the pack right now, Gulata has just about cleared all the lap traffic as he starts to set his sights on the 33 machine of Chris Vinson.
And I gotta think that Adam Benefield wants this one bad. We're closing in to the end of the season here. He's still sitting at 0 wins. Galata has 2. They both came at super speedway tracks, but now Galata here tonight is looking to prove that he can win at a non-super speedway track, the complete opposite actually, at this half-mile short track.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially after, I imagine after getting referred to as Austin Hill by somebody last week too. I think he's definitely itching to get that monkey off his back. He's had the pace this year and had races where it looked like it could, go in his direction, but bad luck, misfortune, misstrategy. It's all kind of reared its ugly head here for this 98 machine. It's kind of been a little bit of a cursed season for him.
Yeah, currently sitting 23rd in points, but don't let that take it away from the great season that he had. I mean, he started late. He doesn't have as much races as everybody else, so obviously he's going to have less points. So he still had a great season. He's got 3 poles, 2 wins. Just a great season from him overall.
So Sean, we're gonna get a little personal here. I know you and him have had some pretty spirited battles this season. How do you feel when you look in the mirror and see Gulata? How's the respect levels between the two of y'all?
I mean, as a racer, I mean, some people don't believe it, but I race everybody the same way, believe it or not. I mean, that's why I kind of get some shots from my teammates saying that if I race them too hard or not, but I just race everybody the same way. I mean, if I get doored, I'll door you back. If I door you, I expect you to door me back. So I just, the respect level is the same, and every race for me is a clean slate. I mean, if you get into me last week, then I don't want to worry about it this week. I want to talk to you that week, and then we're going to get it over. Next week is next week. It's a clean slate, and yeah, I think most drivers do that in this league, and that's why we get the long green flag runs that we do. They don't let the beef boil over. Just clean slate is clean slate, and they can just focus on the next race and drive their own race car.
All right, that's the way to do it. I like that philosophy.
It has definitely contributed to some great races for us here on Grid Vision. Just this series as a whole has been a wonderful series to cover. And a great break from the chaos that we get everywhere else on the sim these days, it feels like. As we look a little bit further through the field here, Luke Christian hold on to a 9th place spot. A good night in the points, though, if we can continue going this direction for Alexander Carr, sitting 10th place. Been a bit of a rough season for him. Hanging on to a good spot right now, though, in that 18 Mustang.
That's one of the keys, just survive. I mean, look, he's in the top 10 because he's just survived, and I don't see a scratch on that car. So just a great night for him, another survivor that can come home with a good finish if he can just keep it up for the rest of the race.
The tall ass, though, we still have a pretty decent distance to go here.
And with pit stops. Pit stops coming up soon. Could shake this up entirely.
Yeah, it's a constant to see somebody make a pretty big mistake here at Martinsville coming down pit road. Looked like Gulata may have had a little bit of a stumble there. Had a big wiggle out of turn 4.
A little bit, but didn't seem to hinder his pace too much. There is a really big gap between Adam Benefield and Joseph Gulata. Those tires that I talked about earlier have seemed to even out. I mean, he had a big advantage, like half a tenth a lap on Gulata when he was behind Gitter, but just putting heat in the tires to pass one car, you can't really get it back, because where are you going to get it back? The heat is going to stay in the tires down these really short straightaways. You're going to get the heat back in these really tight corners. There's no real place to cool the car down without losing too much time, and I bet Adam Benefield doesn't want to lose any more time than he already has. He's just trying to stick with what he's got and hope Gulata falls off here or catches some bad luck with a lap car.
You have two at the same time, though. We saw on the ticker there for a second, showed the pit window, and about in the ballpark, about 20 lap fresher tires to the 98 machine, though. Looked like he did come down pit road and take 4 on that pit stop, where I said Roger Pierce maybe should have came in. Through the field here, Brandon Pasalacqua holding on to a strong 6th place in the 6th machine right now.
Just going to say he's sitting right where he's been this whole race so far. Pasalacqua not moving up, not moving down, but staying competitive. He is not quite in the top 5, but he is well within the top 10.
I'll say, though, it's kind of on par for Brandon this season, though. I mean, there's a reason he's 2nd place in points. It's not just because he has, the benefit of being here the first week that the series ran, but he's consistently clicked together top 10, fringe top 5 finishes all year long. And, he's been competitive when it matters most there at the end of the race. He always seems to find himself right there and just within a spitting distance of that podium. As you see, we have not unlocked the drivers on the live standings. We still have to play through the career mode a little bit longer to get those all up on there for you, but we'll be sure to get that here in the next couple weeks.
Very good.
Like you were just talking about, 5th place, or 6th place, sorry, Brandon Pasalacqua. Just sitting there, I would think that he's still also another car that's in range to jump the leader on 2 tires. Unless he's around 4 seconds back, it might be a little bit too far. But I'm just wondering if any of these cars that really want to go for it and try to win comes down and takes 2 tires here. I mean, it depends on what those left sides look like. If they're like, if they look like they're in the 90s, maybe high 80s, then maybe you go for it. Maybe put on those 2 tires, gain the 4 seconds on pit road that you gain opposed to taking 4, and seeing if you can hold on. Because right now it does not look like anyone is catching that 98 of Joseph Gulata.
At the same time, though, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gulata just come down and throw that on as a little bit of life insurance for the win as well.
He
if
could also
somebody
do that.
If there is somebody out there that's going to be as aggressive as possible with the drive as well as the strategy, it's that 98 machine.
And that's why if I'm 2nd, or if I'm 3rd, or if I'm 4th, or anybody in this top 5, I'm waiting for Joseph Gulata to pit first, if you can. I mean, if you stretch it out to the fuel number and you have to bring it down pit road, then that strategy's not going to work out. But if you can wait for that 98 to come down pit road, maybe get some intel from a teammate or somebody else that's on your box or in Discord, see if they took 4 or 2, or if you got an overlay up that could see if they took 4 or 2, then I'd make my call. If they took 2, then I would put on a 4, because there's nothing you're going to gain from following them on 2 tires. They've already got you covered. Might as well put on 4, hope for a caution, and maybe get up to them so that you can battle it out 4 versus 2 tires right on each other's bumper.
Across the stripe there, 125 laps remain for Martinsville. So look at Adam Benefield trying to work his way up to the back of the 98 machine, but Joseph Gulata just with the pace right now. Benefield kind of stuck up behind these lap cars too. You see the 18 machine working the bottom, gets past the machine of car up top as Paul Gallimore, first car down pit road on this sequence in the 17 machine.
Might be one of the cars trying to jump positions. I mean, just a few spots can get you an extra few points, maybe even get you in the top 10 if you do it right.
Absolutely. Both 203 laps on the board, coming to 204. Field in the hands of Joseph Gulata. We're going to go for another quick word from our sponsors, and we will be back to bring you more of the racing action here on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the LB Builders Cup Series, live from Martinsville. 212 laps in, 213 this go round into turn one for Joseph Gulata. Pit stops looming not too far over the horizon here. Sean, what do you think we're coming in, buddy?
I'm going to expect these guys to come in anywhere between the next 5 laps and the next 15 laps. They could try to play it long, like I said, wait for Gulata to come in and pit and see what they want to do, judge it off of that. Or they can come in early. The pit window opens around 2:20, so we're gonna see if people take it exactly when it opens or if they want to play it long. There's really no cap on when you can pit here. The latest you can pit is really up to you. You can go as long as you want, as long as you got as much fuel in it.
Look who's creeping back into the picture here.
Yeah.
See Gulata stuck right there behind the lap car of Chris Crosby, and that is just opening up the window of opportunities here for Adam Benefiel as he's keeping it low and slow here on the bottom while Gulata's working the top. Big slide out of the 9 machine of Crosby, trying to get out of the way here of the 98 machine. He's going to give him the spot into turn 3. But 2/10 falling into the favor for Adam.
And here he is right there. That really checked him up good. It gave him a good fighting chance to get Didn't give him a fighting chance. He's always had one. But in terms of getting within a stone's throw now, Adam Benefield can put the pressure on Galata. But now he's going to be feeling that dirty air pressure we've been talking about all night.
They're both opting to go to this higher line now. They feel that the bottom has been heated up too much and they got to go a little bit higher. Adam not able to go as high as Galata because all that dirty air is up in that second lane. So he's opting up for that middle of the seam kind of lane.
Right now looking at Paul Hill going toe-to-toe with DeCiani. DeCiani securing that 4th position here out of turn 2. Hill all over the back bumper down the back straightaway. And a peek down to the bottom for the 6th machine of Brandon Pasalacqua. But not going to be able to do anything with it. Wasn't able to get to the quarter panel as he falls back in line behind Paul Hill.
This is a 3-car battle just like we saw earlier. This is a tough spot for Paul Hill to be in because he's got to attack and he's also got to defend. They are on each other equally, just trying to get as much spots as they can here before pitting.
See Pasalacqua getting closer to the rear bumper. That 26 machine, that was almost contact.
Yeah, really close there. I thought for a second, just from the way that the camera was rotating, that was contact on the 26.
And a wiggle in center there for Paul Hill as he works himself past the lap car. And up at the front, it is now 4/10 separating first from second. As you see the 26 machine of Paul Hill opting to come down here. First car in the top 5.
Ooh. He had some lock up there.
He's going to try to undercut him here, see what he can do as Galata brings it down pit road. Benefield stays an extra lap. Now the question is what do they take for tires? Does Paul go the safe route and take 4 and try to hold on to what he has in the long run? Right sides are up, right sides are down, and the lefts go up. He is taking 4 tires.
All right.
Let's see about Joseph Galata here. And the question now is when does Adam Benefield pit? He's still on the racetrack. Paul Hill back out onto the racetrack.
4 tire
Galata
stop for
also
Galata
takes
as well.
4.
By
That opens
opting
up
for
the
the
door.
safe route.
That opens
Oh,
up
is
the
that
door
in-
for anybody.
Just doesn't feel like an Adam Benefield play though. But I could see somebody like Patrick Gitter definitely trying it.
He might have to if he wants to get that lead. He was closing there late, but it just didn't look like he could do anything when he got close. Adam and Patrick are both down pit road here. We'll see what they do. Do they take the safe route or do they play defense and go with those 2 tires?
You see Patrick Gitter in the box.
Right sides up for
Right.
both of them. Dropped. And the lefts go up on both of them. None of them took it.
None of them went for 2.
No gamblers here tonight. The only thing that really leads me to believe is that there's a heavy wear on those left side tires this week.
I mean, there definitely could be. It's a long run. It's a long way to go, way farther than any run in the open.
Neither you or I would know if it chews the left sides up too bad this week either, because we haven't had the opportunity to really put any heat in them. But Benefield a
Adam-
little bit quicker there.
Yeah, just like you said, Adam was quicker on pit road, but the gap is bigger because of Joseph was able to leave pit road and drive on those faster, fresher tires for 2 laps before Adam could. So the gap is opened up now to about 1 or 2 seconds, I'd say. We're going to see. I mean, it's a 2-tire deficit. I don't know if that's going to be enough to close that gap and pass him fighting through the dirty air. But we're going to have to see. I mean, we have under 100 laps to go now. Is anyone saving tire?
Yeah, Benfield's going to want to get it done. He's going to start digging deep because the time is definitely running out.
running equal times right now. I check back into that in about 5 or 10 laps is when you really start to see
Oh,
the
Gulata got
tire
held up
fall
really
off.
bad.
That's going to cost them multiple tenths there.
18 Machine car just did not get off the corner well. And Gulata just had nowhere to go, had to pretty much park it on corner exits to avoid running over the 18 Machine.
This is going to be a hard car to pass. Luke Christian just came off pit road, has fresher tires than Gulata. So he's not as quick as Gulata. Gulata has the raw pace. But Luke Christian is going to be a little bit harder to pass with those fresher tires. Going to keep him a little bit faster than he was before when he got lapped. We're going to see how hard Luke makes it for him, and he doesn't.
Well,
he gets
he
right out
doesn't.
of the way for him, which is the respectable move.
That's a good move, too, especially, you know, since that 3 Machine of Luke Christian is stickered up with Team Conti decals. It's probably best to not, you know, go out here and make anybody scratch their heads and wonder anything. You see DeCiani opting to come down pit road here in the 5 Machine. Vasilakis is still staying out, though.
This is really long. And this could be the last opportunity for someone to take 2 tires. That's the only way I could see this working. I don't know if the tire falls off enough. It usually evens out after you pass that lap 40, lap 50 mark. Once you get to that point, I just don't see that tire gaining any more speed or losing any more. As 4 tires go on the 5 car.
Still feels like there's a second worth of fall off, though. You know, based on what we saw with Benefiel and Gulata's pit sequence, this is about a second for a lap. So these guys that are staying out late, you know, they're only hurting themselves more because, you know, while they're out there running, you know, 20 some odd second laps, the rest of these guys out here, you know, they're running, you know, close to what, 18s?
Yeah,
19s?
I mean, Matt DeCiani is over a half a track behind. Gulata is just a straightaway behind him now. He has to gain up 3/4 of a racetrack to try to make that work. I just don't see the tire falling off enough. It definitely falls off to that second bracket, but once it gets to that second off, it just kind of stops. It just stops falling off, and when DeCiani gets to that point, he's just going to stop catching. Right now, he might be gaining a few tenths, as he's definitely a lot faster than Gulata right now. But once he gets to that second fall-off point, he's going to stop gaining.
Benefiel right now trying to work himself past lap car. Now working up to the back bumper, the 3 Machine of Christian. Benefield's lost a good amount of time here, though, falling back to about 1.8 seconds off of your race leader. Gulata just lighting him up right now, but we saw, you know, he sent it so hard on that first stint, and Benefiel just started to catch up to him there at the end of that first run.
Luke Christian might represent one of the first cars that's going to start changing the way that these lapped cars behave. You know, we talked a little bit earlier about it gets harder and harder as you move up through the field to pass the lapped cars because they're going faster and faster. Christian's sitting in the top 10. So, you know, for Benefiel to make the pass, he's going to have to work a little harder than your average bear.
We'll see if he lets him go like he did Gulata, and he does. Very respectable, gets out of the way, right for him. The gap's definitely closed. The gap is closed between Benefiel and Gulata. It's just the question of, can it keep closing? Will it die out? Will Gulata pull away? Or will Adam be able to get there?
Benefiel now working himself past the 25 Machine of Greg car. Car going to go up against the wall here to let him have all the racetrack he needs. Lets the 3 Machine of Luke Christian by as well. Little ways to go here for Gulata to catch lap traffic as he's slowly reeling in the 18 Machine of Alexander car.
And we see this giant cloud that is over the track right now, putting a lot of shade on it. And that is cooling down the racetrack. The track is now down to 88 degrees. It was around in the 90s before, and that's when we saw that second lane working. It seems the second lane really starts to come in when the track is hotter. The sun's coming back out now, But now that this track has cooled down, you see Adam and Galata both wrapping the bottom.
The back straightaway here is second, separating Gulata from Benefiel.
Oh, we have a
Benefiel definitely
spin
making a
right in
charge
front of
late.
Galata.
Spin right in front of your leader.
Gets it back going, and that throws a wrench in everything. Who
Wow,
has the
yeah.
short run car?
This changes everything now. Strategy's all out the window.
That's really gonna hurt those guys that pitted late.
Late spin for the AT machine of Alexander Carr there.
Yeah. Didn't really go around too much, but I think the caution was combed out just because it was stopped. Pretty much came to a stop right in front of the leader. And Galata had to take evasive action just to not hit him there. I don't really see. I don't know what the cause of that spin was. Maybe like that one spin from earlier. Maybe too much wheel, too much gas at the same time.
Did he touch the curb at all during that?
Did not look like he touched the curb. Adam Benefield down and away.
I think it's just, we've gotten to that point. These guys have done 249 laps at Martinsville. And this is starting to get tired. Just want to get the race over with. Probably thinking about, how you got to go wash the laundry or swap the laundry after this thing's over. Mine's just not in it, and you make that one little mistake when you're kind of zoned out there, and next thing you know, caution's out, and everybody's calling you choice things in the chat.
Hey, you know what I said about 30 seconds ago when I said this may not work out for the guys that pitted late? I was wrong, because I did not think that they would stay out, but now that they did, this is actually a pretty big brain play, because like I said earlier with Roger, when Roger stayed out on those older tires, these tires heat cycle very well. They can go back to running the same pace as new tires can for a few laps. On the long run, you might see them be faster, but the question is do we get a long run here? I mean, we still have plenty of laps to go, around 75 to go, which is plenty long enough for a long green flag run. But if it breaks up into 2 or 3 cautions, that's 3 short runs. So we'll see if they can hold on here. Matt DeCiani opts for the outside lane and will be in control of this restart.
I feel like we're definitely looking at another long run. We've worked into the restart zone here. Green flag is out for Matt DeCiani. A great start for the 5 machine as Vasilako working the inside line, trying to hold Adam Benefiel at bay. Benefiel wraps the top to try and get the momentum down the straightaway. And a great launch for the 83 machine and a great opportunity for him as well.
This is huge for Adam Benefiel. This is the battle of new tires right here. Adam Benefiel now ahead of Galata after Galata led him for over those 100 laps. This is Adam Benefiel's chance to hold on to the lead if he can take it away from Matt DeCiani. We'll see if it goes green long enough for him to make the move.
This is it. Destiny is definitely calling him here as Adam Benefiel is looking good, but behind we're looking here at Paul Hill right now. Number 26 on the outside, just trying to stay steady. Ooh, very unsteady as he bounces off the wall a couple of times. Almost checks back into the 41. Paul Hill losing some speed, losing some positions. Can't quite keep up there.
Looking back at the battle for second, as you can see, Joseph knows how important that second place spot is with the battle of new tires. That battle for the lead may not be important. Maybe those tires will fall off. Right now they're holding steady, but Galata is desperately trying to look for a way back to second as he's been wiggling off the corner. He's been really pushing that car to the limit as he looks to the inside.
Bad corner for Benefiel.
Big slide to the inside. He gets to his door. Can Adam roll the center like Galata was earlier in this race to stay in front of him? No, he can't. Galata is there down at the wall.
Galata to the inside, up by the curbing through 1-2. Got a little loose through 3 and 4. Lost some momentum. A little bit of a wiggle for the 98 machine again out of turn 2. That's going to give Benefiel a run down the back straightaway. But here comes Galata diving it back into 3.
If Benefiel can just keep the run.
They are going to go door to door for sure here. In a moment, I can just tell that 98 looks like it's poised to really put the squeeze up there on the 83, and it's going to make it harder and harder for him to hold that outside line, as the 98 is going to have to work just that little bit less on the inside.
Yeah, I'll tell
Look
you.
at how hard Gulata is working in there behind the wheel. You see the car
Oh!
cross the contact with DeCiani. Around goes DeCiani in 1 and 2.
He saves it.
Sideways, and a huge advantage for Gulata, though, as he gets through it clear over Benefield. Benefield checking up to avoid the incident. Both cars make it out okay, but DeCiani
He's shaking
definitely not
up.
going to be thrilled with that.
DeCiani he looked like he missed the bottom there, and one of the keys to the race was wrap that bottom, because the second you give the slightest little bit of opening, the car behind you is going to want to take it. And I can't really say I blame Gulata, because he's not really focused on DeCiani there. He's focused on the corners outside. He's fighting at him. He's trying to get as best of a run as he can off the corner, so he's going to throttle up. Maybe he just didn't expect him to slow up that much. I mean, those tires in the 5 car were definitely fading away, being 20 laps older than the rest. Just didn't think it would happen that quick. But now Gulata back to his normal self that he's been this whole race, back to the lead with Adam Benefield trying to chase him down.
The question is, Sean, would you take that hole? I'd take that hole.
I mean,
I know
I'd
you'd
take
that.
it. I'd take it. I can't say if I would have hit him or not, because we'll never know until I'm behind the wheel of the race car. I mean, I'm just saying that I don't place all the blame on Gulata there. There was a hole there. He had the rotation. He had the speed. I just don't think. I don't think he tried to get into him there. I don't think there was any intention. He just had the roll speed through the center, and he had to take that momentum to try to clear Adam. He was fighting Adam in that moment. I don't think he was completely paying attention to DeCiani.
There's no way, because I mean, you know, we knew DeCiani was going to fade on the tires anyway. He's focusing on that battle with Benefield, and in moments like that, you know, if he were to give there, you know, he could very well be in the same position that Benefield's in right now. You know, just dog tracking 9/10 of a second back off of the lead.
Yeah,
you know, you get in those
question from
closing laps,
before.
you make decisions that you wouldn't make earlier in the night.
Adam lets Gitter go. Maybe Gitter can try to have something for Gulata here. But that question that I asked before, who has the short run car? Well, it seems like Gulata has it here tonight.
Absolutely. Looks like Gulata's had pretty much something decent for all sections of the run. 98 machine's been pretty stout all night long. Just seemed lead down the back straightaway here. 268 laps on the board, coming to take 269.
Just a little under 60 laps to go here. Now Martinsville, that's nothing. This race will be over in about 25 minutes if this just stays green. That's 25 minutes of just clean and consistent laps from Joseph Gulata to take his 3rd win of the season.
Well, that's fingers crossed on that. Let's see what happens as we're looking for lap 270. There we go. Out of 325 now. Let's keep it clean. We can get out of here in about 25 minutes, give or take a lap or two.
Christian right now hanging on to 9th place, trying to hold off Alexander Carr. And we got one car around. DeCiani loops it out of turn 2.
Oh!
Contact!
With
DeCiani
Crosby.
tries to recover fast and ends up just putting it right in front of Crosby, who is trying to avoid him.
Well, it's going to be about 35 minutes now, fellas.
There's no avoiding it.
And displeasure also after the incident. You see DeCiani just gets high up there. Tires already heat up from when he got hooked earlier. Car crosses over off of the gray into the black and just snaps right around on him, and unfortunately tags Crosby along, trying to remerge But some displeasure being shown to Gulata there from Patrick Gitter under the caution.
Did something happen between those two when we were looking at that incident?
I think it was you sent my buddy around, and I'm not too thrilled about it. Because remember, Matt DiCiani and Patrick Gitter, both teammates under Fortis.
That is true.
Yeah, there's no way Crosby wasn't getting into that 5 machine either. He was
Yeah.
hauling the mail through 1 and 2 there.
Now knowing that, what does Gitter do here for the win? He's got the opportunity. He's close to him, and he might not get this opportunity again if this goes green to the end and Galata just pulls away with that clean air. So if he's going to make something happen, he's got to make something happen on this restart. Who knows if we'll get another one? The car count is thinning out. There's a lot of cars that haven't survived this race and are out or have a lot of damage. There's less chance for a caution with the less cars that we get. Who knows? This could be the last yellow of the race. We'll see if
That's what I'm
Patrick
talking
Gitter takes advantage of that.
Let's hope it is.
You know, I got to think too about who's behind the wheel of that 21 machine, Patrick Gitter. It's a rarity, for me up here in the booth to see anybody get sent off the nose of that 21 car all year. He's had opportunities where he could have absolutely sent it a lot deeper and moved somebody out of the way, and chose not to do it. Everything that I've seen out of Pat just seems like he's a pretty laid back kind of Carl. I wouldn't say Carl Edwards type, because we watched Carl Edwards try to kill Brad for about 5 years. But kind of in that Mark Martin train of thought.
We'll see what happens. I mean, Gitter might have an easy shot here if Adam can let him down.
The question is, Sean, do you know otherwise? Have you seen Pat get hot under the collar?
I don't know, man. We'll just have to see who he is now.
Well, working through 3 and 4 here. It looks like Sean may know something that I don't as we work into the OB Builders restart zone. Gulata quick through the gears here. Doesn't want to have an opportunity to find out what Pat's capable of. Sending it down to 1 and 2. Here comes Adam Benefield up to the bumper. A little bit of slide out of the 83 machine. And Gitter gets stuck on the conveyor belt to the back.
Adam goes for it. I think Adam needs to go for that bumper. He does a little bit.
He does it. He moves him
to the inside. There's contact.
Oh,
There's
and up into the fence.
Contact. They're dooring each other down the front stretch, and the one on the right hook into the wall. Hard hit. Oh my goodness.
That last hook was from Gitter. Was that just a straight up left hook, like an intentional left hook?
I do apologize to the viewers. Sounded like a little girl there, but that was insane. I mean, that was
okay.
Benefield slams the bump and running. We're going to need forensics to figure out what happened here between the 21 and the 98.
They're definitely fighting over the radio right now. And I don't know who he's more mad at. Adam was the one that moved him out of the way, which was a fair bump and run. But then Gitter kind of came in there and finished him off. Not necessarily.
All right, hang on.
I wouldn't even say that.
Let's look on board with the 98 here and maybe slow it down just a little bit. Because you see right there, the 98 machine get moved up by Benefield, bounce off the wall a bit. Looks like the 2 cars maybe hooked together a little bit coming into 1.
I think there was no intent by Gitter right there. If you go back and look at that 21 car, you see, and anyone that drives this car knows when you turn right, this car gets very unstable. You can even see it in Galata's car right there. I don't think Gitter had the intention of driving it up the track into him like that. I just think he was driven down the track by Galata. I think Galata was just really upset by getting moved by Adam and kind of took it out on Gitter there. He just kind of drove him down the racetrack and then they both wrecked. You just can't turn right in these things.
This is a rough shot. And we definitely have Grid Vision 100% certified beef in the chat right now. Unfortunate, because that feels like one of those situations where I don't think there was intent on either side.
No, I don't think none of them wanted to.
Now, Benefield meant to move Gulata out of the way, because, I mean, hey, we're coming to the closing laps here. But I feel like the contact between Benefield offset the 98 machine, because he had bounced off the wall trying to get the car, righted back up, and just at the worst possible time, the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter's right down there on the inside, while Gulata's trying to get the car righted, and I just feel like they get hooked together. And sure as the straightaways are here, man, just the slightest bit of contact. I mean, you know it, Sean. It can be a damn nightmare.
Yeah, especially when you're turning to the right. I mean, just the way these cars are set up, just if you turn to the right, it just bottoms out and wrecks, and that's what happened with Gitter there. And back to what you said before the restart, actually, you were correct. Patrick Gitter is quite angry at the fact that Matt DiCianni got turned by Galata, but we are back under green here.
And this race has done everything it can to fall into Adam Benefield's lap here in the closing stages, in the lead here over Paul Hill, who's charging around that outside line. Brandon Pasalaco making the best out of a consistent day, sitting in the 3rd spot right now, trying to battle for 2nd, but falling back in line behind the 26 machine. And Paul Hill trying to go out here and get the job done as he takes over 2nd.
Adam Benefield can just run away with it now. Paul Hill has been a little bit behind with him. I don't know if he's at the same pace, but he's got a chance to show it. Right here, he's got a car behind and 4th into the wall. But yeah, back to that incident. I mean, they were definitely getting pretty angry over the radio at each other, and it seemed like the incident with Matt was brought up. So maybe a little bit of team anger there. Did my teammate wrong, and I want to get you back. So, and I don't necessarily think that Gitter did anything in retaliation there. I think that he was driven down the racetrack, and the car turned right and bottomed out.
I just feel like the bounce off the wall, and the two just misjudged where the other was going to go, and it's just one of them racing deals. But after the contact made earlier, it doesn't look good for either party. But we're up here broadcasting it right now. The one thing that I do know is Adam Benefield is fast up here at the front of the pack, but you also got to look at that 26 machine of Paul Hill, because if you look on the back bumper of that Slayer Camry, there's that Bigfoot sticker, and we saw how fast Gulata was driving the same thing tonight. And wouldn't this just be Paul Hill to come out here and steal this thing when we're not thinking about it?
I mean, he could give the bumper back to the 83, maybe if he catches up to him. Doesn't seem like he's running any faster than him right now. Seems to be just a slight bit off, only about 100th a lap for the last 3 laps or so. He's not falling back too far, but if he gets another restart, he might be able to put the bumper to him, just like Adam did to Galata.
Looking here at the front of the field, though, Benefield, like you guys said, we're at 289 out of 325 here. He's got the pace, he's got the car lengths, and the guys behind, the more they compete with each other, the slower they're going to go. So I think that Benefield, if he's set up for the rest of this race, it's really his race to just take away. The only thing that could really get in his way would be lap traffic if that comes into play.
With as little laps left to run and with as little cars left on the racetrack, I don't know if lap traffic will be an issue here. I think it's going to be smooth sailing for the 83 as terms of clean air. About over half a track to the next car in front of Adam with over 30 laps to go.
Big wiggle there. Yeah, big wiggle for the 6 machine. But also, I don't think it's quite over. Last lap, a 10th quicker. The 26 machine of Paul Hill. This lap, they're equal. Down into 1 and 2. Paul Hill really digging deep here when it matters most.
Like you were saying, it's that same car that Galata had. Now it's Paul Hill's turn to show what it's got.
What a great drive from Paul Hill tonight, too. Starting this thing off mired in traffic, has just fought and clawed his way through adversity to get up here into a good spot. You know just as well as I do how difficult it can be to make passes here at Michigan Michigan. Wow, that's wishful thinking. Here at Martinsville, when everybody's so equally spread on lap times.
Hey, they're both M's.
Close enough, right?
Yeah.
Close enough.
Another guy I got to shout out here, sitting in 3rd spot. And it seems like week in and week out, he showed up late in the season. I can't talk about this driver enough. That 13 machine of Daniel Wiles, just when that pay window starts to open up, you see that car start to move closer and closer to the front. And it reminds me of somebody else that's got those Conti stickers on the machine.
He's another survivor. Just survived all race. Not a scratch on that car. Don't even know if he has an incident point. Just had a very, very clean race from Daniel Wiles. And that's all you need from Martinsville. That's why he was a key to the race. And he's doing an excellent job just keeping that car clean.
Rayner, he's had an up and down day, to say the least. Sitting there. He got lapped earlier on pace. Sitting there right now in 4th spot.
As you see, Pascal Agua up into 5th now as he's trying to make back those spots that he just lost. Passes Matt DeCiani for 5th. Now he's looking at Bryce Rayner in 4th.
And don't look now, but we do have a battle shaking up for the lead. Paul Hill with very aggressive corner entry is getting closer and closer to the back bumper, the 83 machine of Benefield, but Benefield taking it low and slow, getting the drive off the corner. Right now it's just the question which method is going to work, because that 26 is definitely closed in the advantage to that 83.
I'm wondering the same thing. Like there's a couple of ways that this could go. And now that we've got Paul Hill so close to Adam Benefield, I'm wondering exactly what his method is going to be. And if he's going to put it, well, first of all, let's see if he can get back within challenge range. It looks like he's really driving it down deep on these corner entries. And that's where he's getting within that range. So let's see what happens when he gets close enough to really, really tempt him to pick a side.
And Paul Hill tank swaps a little bit. They're coming through 3 and 4. Back end comes out a little bit. Doesn't have the security on corner exit that he needs to get that run off that he was building there. Going to lose a little bit of time to Benefield as Benefield sends it down the back straightaway into turn 3.
Now, I will be the first one to say that I underestimated the speed of this 26 machine. I mean, he is on the move right now, but he's caught up in that 30 air. He got really close. He was gaining, and then he's in that 30 air, and it just parks you. You run the same speed as the car in front of you, and you get enough of that 30 air, and it heats up your fronts or your rears or whatever tire you're lighting up most, and you just start kind of falling back, which he's kind of doing right now. A little bit faster that lap, but he's just got to get really close for him to be able to do anything. The track now down to 85 degrees, which is way colder than it was earlier in this race. I don't know if that second lane will work as good as it did earlier in this race. None of them have tried it though. When down to these closing laps, almost 20 laps to go, one of them might have to try it, either to defend or attack.
We also got less cars on the track as well, which means those track temps aren't going to get, as warm as they were earlier in the race too. Got a bunch of cars, only 14 cars left on the track at the moment. Sorry, 13. See Paul Hill working himself up to the back bumper here again through 3 and 4, but the drive off going into the hands of Adam Benefield down the front straightaway. Just 20 laps to go here at Martinsville, and it's starting to build into a nail-biter.
I think those rears are sliding up. I'm riding along board here with Paul Hill, and I'm just seeing him counter-steering off of every exit. Those rears are getting really hot. He might have overcooked them. I just don't know if he can get them back here. He's really starting to slide a little bit off of these exits, and you can see Adam Benefield getting smaller and smaller in that windshield.
Turn 4 across the stripe that time, a 19.259 to Adam Benefield's 19.1. Time is definitely not on the side of the 26 machine here as the laps wind down, but good news for Paul Hill. Lap traffic looming out of the window of Benefield. Just about a half a lap away from getting the rear bumper of Hyatt.
Man, those rears are cooked on that 26 car. Big correction there on the exit of 4. I think his best bet for time is to go to that second lane. Gotta get a straighter exit on corner exit. Get pointed straight quicker. Just try to save those rears here to the end. There's not much time left, and those rears are only gonna get hotter and hotter and hotter. His only chance is to either go to the outside or just hope and pray that one of these lap cars slows up at him.
watching
Now
from
this-
Paul Hill's perspective. Yeah.
Right now, too, if you're Paul Hill, you want to get that clean air to the nose. I don't see why you don't try and stand up around the outside. I mean, you're trying, doing exactly what the guy in front of you is doing, and it's not working. Gotta try something different.
If you can get up to him,
Oh man,
use
what
that
a-
momentum.
just sliding on exit, just not doing any favors for those rear tires, man. It's only gonna get worse and worse as the laps wind down here. We're almost coming to 10 to go. He just really needs to cool them down before he makes another charge. He's sliding again.
Oof, not pretty.
Down to the bottom through 3 and 4. Benefield working himself past the 24 machine of Jose Medina to put him a lap down. Paul Hill doing the same here through 1 and 2. And you got a ways to go to get third place. Daniel Wiles. A great race, though. 2 seconds back from your race leaders, but just limping the car around here to hopefully solidify a podium finish here tonight after a hard-fought race.
Now,
So
this
good
is
Benefield
helpful.
right now.
This is helpful
Getting
right
held
here
up.
for Paul Hill.
Hmm.
Down to the bottom, has to take the shorter way around. Grabs the curb a little bit. Doesn't upset him too much though. Saw that 83 hit that curb. Was able to hold on to it.
It's
I don't see Paul Hill being able to do anything. He needs those rear tires to make a drive off the corner if he even gets there. He just doesn't have them right now.
Through 1 and 2. Benefield still leading over Paul Hill. You see Daniel Wiles pass the 24 machine of Jose Medina to put him a lap down. It's a 7/10 of a second advantage right now for the 83 machine. Laps are winding down, and I'll tell you what, man, it's been an incredible race up here tonight. Seeing a little bit of everything here from Martinsville. But the one thing that we see right now that we haven't seen all week, look at the marble buildup on the bottom of the track.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them, and you don't see that not because of how long the race is, because of how long we've gone green. And when you're pacing around the whole time, there ain't gonna be no tire wear and there ain't no marbles, but there is definitely a lot of marbles on the inside and outside of this track right now. Where I don't see marbles is in that second lane. I don't know. Coming down to almost 5 laps to go here. Getting down to it, the gap is too much. There's no disadvantage for Adam Benefield right now. No lap cars in front of him. Tires look okay. He has not been sliding. Paul Hill is just holding on to that thing on every exit, just counter steering a lot.
And as we cross the line and get ready to look for that 5 to go, Benefield is leading things. The 1, 2, 3 is Benefield, Hill, and Daniel Wiles in third.
Across the stripe here to take 4 laps to go for Adam Benefield. And I'm also wondering if maybe Paul tried that outside line a little bit earlier on in the race, wasn't comfortable with it. That outside line at Martinsville, you can make a lot of speed up there, but at the same time, it's if you don't necessarily have a full idea how the car's going to react to it, it's not something you really want to pull out because it's very easy to overstep up there and, snap the car into the wall. But right now, we see Paul Hill trying it and closing a little bit here. Pulls a 10th in on the 83 machine. Maybe a little too late as Benefield works into 3 and 4 here to take us to 2 laps to go.
It's just not enough time. He needs that drive off, and those rears were just gone since 20 laps ago. Adam, all he has to do now, down the backstretch for the second to last time, going into 3 and 4, he needs 2 more perfect corners.
And out of turn 4 here to lead us to the white flag for the OB Builders Cup Series from Martinsville. Adam Benefield, smooth, calculated drive most of the race, a bump and run late race to solidify the lead. And looks like it's going to be a bump and a run away with the win as he brings us into 3 and 4 for the final time. And out of turn 4, across the stripe for the first time this season in the OB Builders Cup Series, Adam Benefield brings it home.
What a race for Benefield. Just led it after a series of battles that he had to go through with Roger Pierce, unfortunately, disconnecting here. We had Joseph Galata also was up there at the front for a lot of this race. Benefield walking away with the crown after 325 laps. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, just consistent race by him. I mean, I don't think you've seen him make a mistake that entire race. I mean, he just let people go. He gave and take, and he took on that one restart away from Galata, and back behind him they went and wrecked. So just absolute consistent race. I think that's the best way that I can put it, and that's what we talked about pre-race, is you needed consistency here, and he showed it tonight. Very consistent, never made a mistake the entire race, and well deserving of that first win of the season.
And such a devastating blow for Galata too. You know, looked like he had the race more or less hemmed up for the most part. A little bit of contact, and it just goes the wrong way. But either way, as we look at the unofficial results here, Adam Benefield leads the field across the stripe over Paul Hill in second. Third, going to Daniel Wiles. Another great run for him, with Bryce Rayner keeping up the consistency in fourth. Fifth place going to Brandon Passalacqua, solidifying that second place shot in points, with Matt DiCiani, Luke Christian, Alexander Carr, Chris Vincent, and Chris Crosby rounding out the top 10, Joe.
You got it. Moving right along, Jose Medina in 11th, with Greg Carr in 12th. 13th, Joshua Hyatt 14th. Joseph Gulata, after leading 97 laps of this race. 15th, Patrick Gitter, another one who was up there at the front, really battling it out. 16th, Russell Black. 17th, Paul Gallimore. 18th, Roger Pierce. 110 laps led in this race. Really impressive run. 19th, Richard Kleiman. And 20th, Keith Long. Moving up, and then finally, Josh Schaffner. They'll round things out, 21st.
And I'll tell you what, man, we got a taste of everything here tonight. You know, we had great long green flag runs. We had great battles. We had tempers flare. We had excitement. I mean, the Obies Builders Cup Series definitely brought it all tonight. And what a blast it was. But right now, Sean, ready to do an interview? Because you're about to sit with our third place finisher tonight, Daniel Wiles.
Alrighty. Daniel, it's Sean up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, sir.
Man, great race tonight. Third place finish, stayed out of all the chaos, and was able to just maneuver all those wrecking cars there at the end. It got wild. What was your thought process through it, just to make it through cleanly and not get caught up in that mess?
Well, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what my plan was the whole race. I just wanted to run top 10. I had a feeling we were going to have some long green flag runs, so I was waiting to the end. I was actually shocked at all the stuff that happened at the end. I'll have to go back and watch it. But man, it was just all about surviving and being there at the end and putting myself in a position to at least finish top 5. So, I mean, top 10 in this league is crazy. It's really good. So to get my first podium in the league, I'm happy with tonight.
Definitely a really good finish, and you were consistent all night, stayed out of trouble. Who do you have to thank for this finish?
Team Conti, my teammates at America Racing, you guys up in the booth. The broadcasts are always amazing. Wish you were out here on the track though. But yeah, everybody else that watches my family, good night.
Thank you. That was Daniel Wiles, third place finisher.
And we're going to move our second place finisher on the evening. Paul Hill with a hard charge at the finish to solidify a spot in the podium. We're going to send him in here with Joe LeCastro.
Hey, Paul, can you hear us all right?
I can.
All right, Paul, you had similar. We just talked to Daniel Wiles, who was able to get out ahead of all the madness that was going on there tonight. You also out ahead of it, but involved in it every once in a while too. Tell us, what was the biggest bump for you tonight? Was there a moment where you thought maybe that might have been it for you before you're able to eke out a silver medal here?
Honestly, I think it was more the man attached to the wheel that was having issues all night. The car was fantastic. First run, I felt great. Second run, I overdrove it, and then we were able to kind of bring it back together and get that second there due to chaos. But honestly, it was just hitting your marks for that many laps and not kind of going cuckoo looking at the same 2 corners every 10 seconds. So, or 4 corners. So, yeah, honestly, just trying to stay focused the whole time.
What's the secret? Do you play a little music? Do you meditate behind the wheel? How do you stay focused? Because sometimes when I was racing, I haven't done it in a minute, but when I was also running into that problem too. You get a lot of laps under you. You just can't. You start to see gray ahead of you. It's sort of this hazy field. How do you stay focused as you go through these long drives?
I just try to, hit my marks, honestly, and just look at the same few marks and make sure I'm pressing the brake enough. Honestly, that tends to be my issue. Is I start braking less and less as I get, I guess, daydreaming. So, yeah, for me, it's just kind of focusing on my braking. I need to really think about what my left foot is doing, and that seems to keep me on track a lot better. But that was quite the race, long one, very long one.
Yes, sir. It was a very long one, but you managed, again, like we said, to come out with the second place finish. Anyone you want to shout out to or thank for your great performance tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Bigfoot Chassis Collective, or really Joseph Galata, Nolan Hodgson, and I, Tyler Hunter, a lot of guys that put in time with us and help us develop these sets. We're a relatively small crew, and we come out here and we try to do our best every week, and I feel like we run in the top 10, top 5 every week, whether it's in leagues or SOF. So I want to shout those guys out for their dedication. You guys up in the booth, and then Brandon and Randy and all those guys, Greg Carr, that help with that league every week, OB. They do a great job. We get hands down the longest green flag runs in this league every week. So I want to shout them out for that. It's a lot of fun to come in here and actually get to feel what the car is going to do over 150 laps. So.
All right. Well, Paul, thank you for your time up here. We look forward to hopefully talking to you again real soon. And congratulations on that second place finish.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was Paul Hill coming in with the silver medal. I'm going to pass it back to you, Sheldon. You're going to talk to first place.
Absolutely. As we move, hang on. I'm having technical difficulties because I'm terrible with Discord. But either way, sitting here with our race winner and probably the most aggressive I've ever seen you run in my life. Race winner, Adam Benefiel. First off, man, just talk to me about the race.
Well, it was eventful. Didn't know if I was going to make it. I got on and kept having a error throw. Like every time I tried to load into the session, some kind of error would pop up, and was scrambling trying to see what was causing it. And it was a driver's update for my pedals. So that was new. Never had that happen before. And so we got in there, I think with 10 minutes left, and realized that my pedals weren't calibrated. And so I was trying to remember all the settings, and we just winged it, said to hell with it, and got it somewhat close, and just kind of took our time, trying to be patient, like it's a long ass race. Just riding. I was letting people go, trying to take care of others, and knew about 20 laps in that it was gonna be good, like really good on the long run. So I just kind of played that card, shocker, and worked our way up there and led a little bit. I hate Roger dropped. I think that would have been a good race. And I'm trying to sit here and remember what all happened in this race. I don't know. We got lucky with the caution. It was me and Conti was in there with me when it happened, and he's like, I'd run a little bit longer because you could still go 50 laps, and lo and behold, the caution falls, and we cycled back to the lead and went back into conserve mode. And the whole deal with Galata, like, I feel like me and you had this discussion last night as we stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning talking. I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not going to do just go in there and knock the hell out of you for the hell of it. But when I think that something could have been avoided, that's when I'll consider racing you differently. And with Galata, I raced him. I've always raced him very fair and very clean, and that, in my opinion, could have been avoided. We were dealing with a DeCiani that has never done anything wrong to a soul that I've ever seen. Just like buying our time, we still got a long ass way to go, and he just goes in there and almost wrecks him and knocks me straight up the racetrack. So I didn't appreciate it. I went in there and I gave him a bumper. I didn't wreck him, I bumped him. So we went on with it. I don't know what happened. I seen him and Gitter wreck. I hate that Gitter got involved in it, but everything was great up until that point. I don't know why we had to be overly aggressive, but that's the route he wanted to go.
A dramatic turn of things tonight, but how does it feel, man, to finally get the job done this season? I know you've had a lot of opportunities that have kind of slipped through your fingers the way strategy has fallen, or just getting caught up in somebody else's mess. I bet it feels great to finally get the job done, especially at Martinsville, because I know you had this place kind of circled.
I mean, yeah, one hand it does, one hand it don't. I think it would have been better if the guy that was sitting up here in the booth was in the race and it would have happened. I really want to kick his ass straight up, and but yeah,
Next
we
week.
got the win. Well, that's kind of your wheelhouse. I hate that place, but yeah, maybe one day it'll happen. But no, it was good to win. We got a lot of info for what we need for another race that we have coming up, and it just proves like that. What we're doing is race winning stuff. We can go out there and compete and be up front. Yeah, Conti's doing, he's working his ass off every week to make sure that we're getting good stuff, and he's giving out, the best that we can give out, and we keep pushing forward. So, yeah.
Oh man, congrats on the. I can hear it. Normally you're a lot more damn jovial, but you sound like you just had the hell knocked out of you.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, man, 325 laps done at Martinsville. My next question was going to be what's the physical toll, but I can hear it. Us old fellas are really starting to fade here. I'm noticing these days. But what do you want to thank and shout out for this big win tonight here from Martinsville?
Just all the guys at Team Conti, Sim Performance, Kyle Ammon for the paint scheme. I'm glad, dude. The biggest thing, like, screw the rest of the crap. Like, I'm happy we got the pink car in victory lane. That's really cool for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so I'm happy that we were able to get a W for that. And you guys for broadcasting. I had a ball last night. Looking forward to next Wednesday night. And Mullins and everybody, Greg Carr, everybody that's involved with this league, they do an unbelievable job. It's really fun. It gives me something to look forward to on Thursday night. So, yeah, thanks to everybody that's behind the scenes working their asses off that don't really get a whole lot of spotlight. Darby, good job, Darby. Even though nobody can hear you, good job, buddy.
He talked so much smack when you cleaned out Gulata. Just ran off the rails, 100%.
It's fine. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure there was people that didn't agree with it, but that's why they say opinion are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So.
Wait, what? What did you say, Darby? No. I have questions after we're done with this broadcast. We've gone off the rails, but Martinsville will do that to you, folks. Well, Sean, what'd you think of the race here tonight, man?
Oh, I thought it was a great race.
Had a voice crack right there.
Yeah, That's what happens when you bring a youngin in the booth. But
It's not as bad. It's not as bad as listening to Colby. He's okay.
yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of everything. You know, we had tempers, we had contact, we had bump and runs, we had clean racing, we had respectful racing, and we had green flag runs, which is not something you say much when you go to Martinsville. So I think I had a little bit of everything, and sometimes that's all you need.
About you, Joe, what'd you feel about tonight?
Well, I'm going to echo a lot of what you just heard. I think it had a little bit of everything, but mostly it was those green flag runs that I really, really liked out of this race. Turns out if you take your league and you tell them all, hey, you're all going to race clean tonight, right? They might actually do it. And the OB Builders Cup Series is home to some of the best clean green flag racing I think I've seen at Martinsville ever. This is the best. This has been the single longest green flag run I've ever seen at Martinsville. So kudos to the guys who came out tonight to put on the show. It was really a good one.
I think this probably actually takes the mantle as the best short track race I've had the opportunity to cover on iRacing due to the lack of cautions and the big moments and aggression, as well as the different strategy plays. These guys definitely put on one heck of a show tonight. But from the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Special thanks to Andrew Cardinal IV of Whiplash Sim Cams for providing the cams used on today's broadcast. Once again, congratulations to Adam Benefield on the big win here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. This has been Sheldon Atkins, and I've been joined in the booth by the ever so talented Sean Conklin, Joe LaCastro, and our fearless leader, Austin Derbyshire. And we will see you next time on the grid.